Hello everyone, and welcome back to our video series on using Google Forms, an introduction video series. So for the last video in this introduction series, I want to talk about how do you send a form, how do you actually get that form out there to be accessible to the larger public, and then once you have responses, how do you get the actual data back, which is kind of nice. All right, so we were looking before in the last one about basically how do you look at the template galleries. I'm just going to open up another form again from a template gallery because it looks really nice, and say this was our form. It's really easy. This was a form, we completed it, it's ready to go. We just press send. For the very first time we press send. Now this is a great box which allows you to do a lot here. You can send your form via email, and then you can then type the email address of the people you want to send the form to. Okay, you can put a subject in here, you can give a message, include the form in the email, which means it actually would be in the email itself embedded, or if not, it would be kind of a link in the email. And then you can also even here add your collaborators for doing more of a combined form together, which was again something we already talked about, but they kind of added here as well. Another way is to just send a link to the form. So you just copy this link, and you could post this link on a website. You could post it on a school website, a company website. You could put it in a learning management system like Schoology or Edmodo or things like that nature. All right, you can shorten the URL if it's too long. You want to just use the automatic Google shortener. That's fine, or you don't have to. Okay, so that's one way you could do it. That's usually the most popular way. Another way is you could actually embed it. So this is really nice. This is your HTML embed code. So once you have this, you can copy it. And now you can then take that embed code and you can then put it on a website where the form would be literally shown embedded on a website. We're doing another video series on Google Sites, which is a great series of how to use Google Sites to make websites. And this is a great feature now. I can just embed a form on a Google website. So as you're going through the website, the form will be right there for you. You don't have to even worry about it. And I have used that feature in the past, which is really, really nice. Okay, and you can change the height and width of the form depending on how the dimensions of your website. You can also share it via social media, and right now we're limited to Google+, Facebook, and Twitter, which is really kind of nice. So those are the main ways you send a form. Now the other way, just to you can also do this, is something I mentioned before. If I go down to the settings buttons here, I can also do this, get a pre-filled link. Now what this means is that you can fill in the responses yourself. All right, and you could click on here, all right, and I could add an email address here, and I could click all throughout this stuff, all right, and then say I do this, I do vegan, I'm available on Wednesday, I'm trying to find a time, and any other comments, this is great, and I get the link. Now what this gives me is it just copy the link. All right, now I'm going to go to a incognito window, so I'm logged out of everything. I'm going to paste that link, and that's not the link I had, so I'm sorry about that. Okay, let me copy the link. I didn't copy the link. That was my fault. I thought it copied it automatically. It didn't. Let me go to new incognito window, and there is the form that I just filled out with my responses. Now, I used to use this feature a lot for rubrics, where I would fill out the form and I wanted the students to actually see what I filled out. And then I did a pre-filled link and I submitted it and I copied that link and I shared that link back to them so they can see what I filled out on a rubric. Now, there's some other great tools we'll get to later for advanced features that will allow you to print out PDF copies of forms that are already filled. So we'll get to that later, but that's kind of a nice little feature that's kind of hidden away of the pre-filled URL. All right, now you have a form with data and maybe you have collections of information. Okay, well, I'm gonna go to a form that I already have, and it will show you that 135 people have responded to this form. Well, I can now click on responses and it will give me now some statistics. It will give me some people's names who filled it out, a lot of people, and it will give me all that there, okay, which is kind of nice, a lot of statistics there. I can also do individual, which will show me each individual response of what they filled out, which is really nice. This is a change because now I wouldn't have to actually do this. And used the pre-filled URL before, because now I can just print out each individual response. That's just page 1 of 1, okay, and that's perfect. And I could print out the response of the form just as it was being seen by that individual, which was really kind of nice, okay. Let me go back to responses to this one. Summary of these people's scores on that rubric I was filling out. This one actually had more of a chart to go with this, and tables and graphs, looking at how they did on that rubric in terms of other people and what the averages were. So in terms of getting some great data and looking at it in terms of assessment, or in terms of, you know, changes you might want to make, you can really do some nice data analysis with the responses already there. Or I can go individual again, and I can now scroll through the individual responses, right? And I can print each individual response out. I can delete a response. Okay, so rather than using that pre-filled URL, I can actually use this feature, which is really, really convenient. Okay, I can also turn the form off. Maybe I don't want this form to be out there anymore. Maybe I share it as a link, and I'm going to say, nope, I'm turning this form off. No longer can anyone else respond to it, or I could turn it back on. Now, this little button here, I can get email notifications when people respond. That is really nice to know. So maybe you've had a form out there for a long time, and you're not sure if people are responding to it. Every time someone responds to it, you're going to get an email that someone responded to your form and a link to access it. Really convenient. You can select where the responses will go into your Google Drive or to a spreadsheet. You could unlink the form so there's no link to a spreadsheet. You could delete all the responses, or you could reprint all the responses, or you can download it as a CSV file that could then be put into Microsoft Excel, right? Which would be super convenient. But if you want to use Google instead, you can review the responses in a spreadsheet. So just click on the spreadsheet symbol, and now all the responses here are in a nice, convenient spreadsheet that you can manipulate like you would any other spreadsheet in terms of formulas, in terms of data, and how you would use all of this. Okay, so wow, there's a lot there, right, that you could use in terms of responses on a Google form. So again, to summarize it, you can get the summary of overall responses, and you can get some great graphs and data depending on what kind of questions you asked, or you can also look at the individual responses. You can print those responses, you can go through them, right, any way you like, all right, which is great. So if you're in the questions of a form, you'll see the questions here. If you go to the response section, you'll see all the data, and you'll be able to also put that data into a spreadsheet. All right, so a lot of great things that you can do with these great Google Forms, and I hope this video was very useful for you, and have a great day. Bye-bye.